Welcome, everybody, to the Really 007 podcast. I'm Tom Pickup, and we're here for this special interview with Susie Vanner, who appeared as a Bond girl in the iconic pre-title sequence of one of our favourite Bond films, The Spy Who Loved Me. Now, you can watch all our interviews on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to them as well on iTunes and Spotify. So please subscribe and leave a lovely review if that's at all possible. And on social media, we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you'll find plenty of silly interactions between Bond fans all over the world. Now, with me today, I have esteemed Really 007 contributors. I've got John and I've got Math, who are both really excited to chat to a real-life Bond girl. Good evening, Jen.
Yeah, good evening. And good evening to you, Susie.
Hello.
Yes.
How are you?
This is Susie. We're here with Susie. It's great to have you. And Susie has had a colourful career, really, in TV, film and music. More lately, she's gone back to the music. So we, of course, Bond fans, we know her best as the log cabin girl in The Spy Who Loved Me. But yes, Susie, how exactly did you get into films, or was it music that first got you going?
Well, it was the music, first of all. When I was 19, I landed a contract with RCA Records. They were called RCA at the time. I recorded 3 singles, A and B side, 6 songs with a writer and producer called Chris Andrews, who had written and produced quite a few songs with Sandra Shaw, and they'd become hits. So he sort of finished writing for her, and he was looking for another girl to write for. And, well, I mean, he chose me. So
yeah,
that's the beginning of my story in the entertainment world, really. And I absolutely loved working in a recording studio and recording. And then I went on to do session singing for a few years. So, yeah, singing was really my first love.
That's incredible. Who did you session for then?
I did sessions for everyone, really. I really can't remember all the names now. Lots of groups in the late 60s, early 70s, this was mainly. Blue Mink, I think, was one of them. You know what? I really can't remember, but I didn't stop working. Stop working. And I formed my own session singing group. We were 3 girls all around the age of 19. So it was quite a sort of a first, because most session singing groups are, a little more advanced in their ages, and we were landing all the work, because I suppose the groups thought we were, or the bands and the singers that we were, and the producers that we were working for, we were very, very we had amazing voices to blend, with the harmonies. And I mean, I didn't even read music. I'm just a person that can really go to a harmony before a lead vocal,
Yeah.
So we picked things up really quickly and got the sessions done really quickly, and we ended up earning lots and lots of money, which was basically what I needed at the time, because when you are recording singles, you don't earn any money until they are hit records. So that it was brilliant to do that, and that's when I met my first boyfriend, who was a photographer, and he introduced me to Hazel Malone, who was my film agent. And that's how it all started.
Is there quite a link between all these industries at the time, in London especially?
Well, it was all London. It was all to do with London. I'd left home from Romford, when I was 21, and I was living in Notting Hill, Holland Park. And, I was trailing around with my photographs and going to all the castings and thinking that I would always be singing. But of course, I couldn't combine the singing with the acting, because you didn't know when you were going to be filming. If you landed a job, an audition, and then then I couldn't take on the singing. So I thought, well, I'd always go back to it. But as life sort of continued, it didn't seem that I would go back to it as soon as I thought. And of course, 30 something years later,
yeah,
I've gone back to it.
That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, so what sort of made you get back to it? It's only been in the last 5 years or less, is it?
Yes, yeah. Well, I met Kipper at a charity ball, and where there were my husband and I belong to the Shooting Star charity, which is a beautiful charity for hospices, children's hospices. And I was sitting on Simon Cowell's table.
Oh.
And he put me next to a lovely gentleman who I was chatting away to all evening, and turned out to be Kipper Eldridge, the Grammy award-winning record producer.
Yeah,
and he actually, that's how I met him. And he actually, unbeknown to me that evening, had a prize for auction, which was to have a day with Kipper Eldridge recording Song of Your Choice. And, he would give you lunch at his home in Hazelmere in the country, where he had a studio, which was in a barn near his house. And my husband put his hand up, and we both got the prize. And therein lies the beginning of my singing career.
That's incredible.
I know. My whole life has been fate, really.
Yeah.
It's been luck and fate and being at the right place at the right time. Just when I wanted to go back to singing, it sort of happened just by chance. And meeting Kipper, we just work so well together. It's just amazing. He's a fabulous, fantastic man and a very talented producer. As you may or may not know, he's a Grammy award-winning record producer, and he worked working with Sting for 3 years. He won a Grammy, and he's worked with lots of well-known, singers, and he's very, very clever, very, very talented, but very humble at the same time, and very funny.
Right.
Yeah. A bit on the side, Susie, I work in the Christian music industry, and Kipper's produced an album from a man called Matthew Macaulay, and and absolutely superb production, just completely changed the dynamic of Christian music, really moved it towards a kind of folky sound in what he did, very, very Sting influenced. So I could only agree with what you're saying, is that he is absolutely superb. Yeah,
he's a one-off. Yeah, and I just feel very honoured. I can't believe my luck in meeting him, really, because he's become a real friend as well, in my life. Yeah, he's just lovely. Unfortunately, he's living in Bali at the moment, which is quite a long way away from London. But
nice for him.
He manages to get over, and work with me on first of all, my first album. He wasn't in Bali; he was still here. But then my second album, he's managed to come over a few times and do the album with me, which we've just finished actually.
Oh wow!
2 weeks ago. So yeah.
So how does it go from winning a prize to actually, hang on, this is something we could do properly, and record songs and albums? Well,
I phoned him. Actually, I'd left it about 2 years before I phoned him, because I'd forgotten that I'd won this prize. And as life goes on, you kind of, I was having a wonderful life with my husband and my son. I completely forgotten. Then something happened in my life which made me realize that I should be singing, and a friend of mine who's in the music business, a wonderful girl called Pearlie Gates, and she is in the Flirtations, and she said to me, look, Susie, you've got to phone that guy that that producer that you got a prize from, because you love singing. And so I actually did. I picked up the phone. I was a bit embarrassed. I said, do you remember me? And he said, of course I remember you. Yes, of course you can come. We'll do it. I just choose a song. And anyway, in the end, I chose 2 songs, and I was very excited to go and do this, because I knew that he didn't know that I could sing, and I didn't tell him. It was really funny. Yeah, and I also phoned him first, and I said, do you mind if I do 2 songs? And he said no. He said, don't worry, I'll help you get the key, and then I'll write a track for you before you get to see me. And he came to my house, and we found the key to the 2 songs, and I could tell that he was a little bit worried that I would end up finishing two songs in one day, but I did, and he was so, well, I suppose impressed, you might say, that he said, so I'd like to do an album with you, and that's how it all started.
Wow. So he offered to do an album with you then?
Yes, yeah. He wanted to work with me. Yeah, and we kind of hit it off, we just didn't stop laughing. I took my friend Vi, who was a member of the Flirtations, as I said, I took her with me, and I think he was a bit worried, about me taking a friend, thinking, oh God, maybe she can't even sing, and she'd taken the friend for courage. And when my friend walked in, there was a poster of the Flirtations on the wall, and she said, she's from Alabama, that's me, that I'm on Did you work with the Flirtations? Have you, And it was so funny, because Kip was Kip immediately struck a chord with her, and him with, him with her and her with him, and everyone got on. We had a great fun. We had a wonderful day, and she's been with me all the way as well with it. So she's a great friend.
You've recorded some great songs. I know you've done some covers, and then you've done some originals, and
yeah,
got quite a few music videos as well.
I have. Brilliant. Yes. Yeah. It's been it's been great for me because I've managed to get the acting into the videos as well. So yeah, and it's been like getting back into studio films, with a film crew has been great because I've missed it.
I cried a river over you. I cried a river over you.
I've got to ask you about one song because I know you've recently done a version of, the Spy Love Me song, the Nobody Does It Better.
Yes, yeah. That was my manager's idea. He wanted me to do it. And I wasn't sure whether I should, but Kip made me sing it in a certain way that is so different from Kylie Simon.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked, I think, really.
Yeah, that's great. And obviously we love that film.
Nobody does it half as good as you. Baby, you're the best.
I mean, going back to the acting, how did you come to be cast in The Spy Love Me?
I knew you were going to ask me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I suppose my agent probably sent my biog and my pictures to Lewis Gilbert and Cubby Broccoli, on Productions. While I was out in Madrid, I had a lead part in a Spanish movie, and I'd done a lot of other work, so which had become quite impressive. So she sent everything along to the casting directors, and then when I got back from Madrid, she phoned me the very next day and said, Darling, I'd like you to go and see Lewis Gilbert at Pinewood Studios.
Oh.
And I said, what for? And she said, well, it's for the next Bond movie. And of course I said, really? And she said, yes. So there I was the very next day. I was actually felt quite confident because I, just come back from having a lead part in a movie anyway, and which was amazing. I was there in Madrid for 10 weeks, and I just got back, and I walked into that room to see Lewis Gilbert, and we just we hit it off, and we just carried on talking a lot, and at the end of the discussion he said, well, Sue, I've got 2 parts for you that I'm interested in you in, and I'm going to think about it when you leave, and I'm going to phone your agent when you get back. So that was it. I got one of the parts anyway, and I ended up the log cabin part.
What was the other part?
It was actually the part that Eva Roy Besteya played, just sitting at a desk on the phone.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I got the better part, really, don't you?
I do, yeah. And you were both on the Russian side, I'm afraid, weren't you, in the end?
Yes, we were. Yeah, we were. But I was rolling around a fur rug by a log fire.
You were, yeah. Dear me, that's incredible. Was that at Pinewood Studios?
Yes, it was at Pinewood Studios. Yeah. And the set was amazing. I mean, it looked, as you probably can see, it looked very real. Yeah.
We've just done a special on Ken Adams sets and the lighting and everything in that film. It's just so iconic. And
yeah, well,
that one especially.
Are you serious when you say it's one of your favourites, Spy Who Loved Me?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Because Cubby Broccoli, the producer, sort of let us all know, all us actors that were in it, that he wanted it to be the best James Bond film ever, because it was the first one he was doing without Harry Saltzman, his partner.
Yeah.
They'd fallen out. Do you remember? Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yeah. So it was a big time for the Bond franchise, and it was like they put everything into it, didn't they? Like it was
everything,
better.
Yeah. And I think the ski stunt was one of the best, don't you?
Oh,
falling and then it just goes very quiet, and all you can hear is the wind, and I think that's quite spectacular, actually. In fact, I was asked to do all the promotion tours all around the world, South America, Australia, Japan, South Africa. And then, so it was incredible to go to all the premieres. That's what we did, like a traveling circus, really. All the television interviews, radio interviews all over those countries. And then we would turn up at all the premieres. And when we were in that audience, we would watch that scene, and then the whole audience would stand up and clap and cheer when that stunt was on. It was
amazing,
just spectacular. Yeah, it was just spectacular.
Prince Charles did, didn't he? Apparently, standing ovation from him.
I don't know, was it?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. I think he'd seen it at Pinewood earlier. He was showing a rough cut.
Yes, yeah.
Is now, along with the Goldfinger with the laser beam, it's probably the most famous scene of them all, isn't it? So just to be a part of that is amazing. You couldn't have known that when you were filming all this, could you?
No, I didn't know any of it. No, not really. Oh well, I had the script, but I didn't know how that ski stunt will go, and it was just brilliantly done, wasn't it? I mean, all the movies now have sort of moved on to be total special effects and
I know.
Every second, but I think, though in at that era, there was a lot of tongue in cheek and humour, which they've kind of lost a bit now, and I think I preferred a bit of humour in them because it's more like having a relaxing evening rather than coming out of the cinema feeling a bit stressed out, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely, Susie. We completely agree.
I'm glad you agree.
Yeah. What was it? One of our co-hosts, he described watching a James Bond film as like putting on a nice warm woolly jumper by a cozy fire. It gives you that nice feeling,
Exactly. Yeah, but not anymore.
I take it you've seen No Time to Die then.
Yes. But don't get me wrong, I think I love Daniel Craig. I think he's been amazing. It's just that they've changed the direction of them, really, haven't they? To be very thriller, more thriller, more wicked thriller, and I don't know. It's never mind.
Whereas of course for The Spy Who Loved Me, that was the one which really put Roger, in the best possible mode that he could be as James Bond. So I just wondered whether you'd be able to tell us about working with him and when you met him, whether you met him beforehand, whether there was any rehearsals or anything like that.
Well, no, I hadn't met him beforehand. And also there were no rehearsals for the actual scene. And so the first person I saw, my makeup people and everything. And I had my own dressing room with my name on it, which was so fabulous. In private studio. It's very grand. And then I got a knock on the door, and it was Lewis Gilbert, the director. And he said, and he wanted to go through the scene with me, just telling me, how it was going to be and everything. And then I was led onto the set. And when I arrived on the set, there was Roger lying on the floor, where I was supposed to be, with another woman underneath him. and I stood there. I must have been so naive. I stood there and I thought, oh God, they've changed the scene or something, and someone else has taken over from me, or maybe there are two women that are making love to Roger Moore. But anyway, it was my stand-in. I had a stand-in for the lighting, and I'd never had that before. It was amazing.
Wow. So grand, isn't it? The scale of the production.
Oh, the scale of it. Working for the whole Bond team, it's like you are then part of their family, and they treat you just so beautifully, and everything was done so professionally and wonderful, kind. They're all kind, and it's like being part of a family, as I said. It's wonderful. When I did the promotion tours, I went with Cubby Broccoli, and Richard Keel, the George who played George.
Yeah.
And then Cubby took his son, who was part of the family, that he worked as well with Eon Productions. And it was just like, I don't know, it just was, the whole thing was, I even had my birthday there in Japan. We went to Australia and Japan as well. And I had my birthday in Japan, and they did a special birthday evening for me with a cake and everything. It was wonderful.
Something that everybody says, who we've spoken to quite a few people now, a few actors, and John Glenn we've spoken to, and they all just say it is that family, and that Cubby's the father figure, isn't he? Yeah,
he was so kind. He was really a lovely, kind man. Yeah, great times, really. Yeah.
So going back to Roger then, what's he like? I mean, he seems like a joker, but he's a gentleman as well, isn't he? Presumably.
Yes. Oh, totally. Very respectful, very gentlemanly, lovely to work with, very easygoing, crack jokes the whole day. So I was in fits of laugh. But obviously you have to be very professional and pretend that you're it's supposed to be a romantic scene. So yeah, it was just incredible. It was incredible fun, incredible, and but also very exciting, to work with those sort of people.
You had the gadget, of course, the ticket tape and all that.
What's happened? Where are you going?
Sorry, darling, something came up.
Yes, the watch. Yes, yeah, and there was a lot of stopping and starting because the gadgets go wrong every now and again.
Yeah. They don't work as well in real life, I assume.
No.
Were you not tempted to take some ticker tape as a souvenir? As a memento.
No, I wanted to take the white mink coat, but obviously that wasn't offered to me, unfortunately.
I was lucky, actually. You probably know this, but in the novelization, your character has a name.
Yes.
You said to be a French KGB agent called Martine Blanchaud. Or something.
That's it.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
That's amazing.
Weird. Yeah. But they unfortunately didn't give me that name in the end, did they? They just called me Log Cabin Girl.
Yeah.
What was your name in the script, Susie?
Log Cabin Girl.
They've got a record of doing this. I don't remember in Octopussy, the two circus twins, the identical twins, Mishka and Grishka. In the cast, in the credits, it just says Twin 1 and Twin 2.
Oh no.
So they've got previous to this, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
What was Lewis Gilbert like as well? Because again, he seems like such a lovely guy, a real gentleman.
Oh, a real gentleman, so kind as well. I mean, funnily enough, he lived near me in Notting Hill, in Holland Park. So I always walk in Holland Park every morning, and I would pass him sometimes in the street, and he would chat to me and ask me how I was doing. This was after the movie. And working with him was a dream. He was very, very softly spoken and just got on with the job, in a wonderful way, really. I mean, the lighting was amazing, wasn't it? And everything was directed beautifully. And I have a very high respect for him, and very sad when he passed away.
Did you keep in touch with the Bond family much over the years?
At the beginning, yes, I saw them a few times, and I bumped into them they were having dinner in San Lorenzo one evening, and Barbara Buck came running over to me and said, "Oh, come and see everybody, we miss you," and all this. Yeah, so things like that were happening, but obviously I didn't come back. I mean, they didn't repeat my part or anything. So my mom was very upset about that.
For sure.
No, just kidding.
When you go into that, do you sort of think of a background for your character or anything? Like, when you're approaching the scene?
Well, if I'd have had a bigger part, yes, obviously I would have gone into it. But it was just a small scene, so I didn't have to really. I just had to act, obviously, as though I was a spy and be a little bit devious.
You lived as well.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
Well, as far as we know, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know, do you really?
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
For what, as you said, is a small part, though, Susie, you must be so proud that, you set up one of the most significant lines in the whole series in terms of Roger Moore saying,
Which one?
when you said, "But James, I need you."
James, I need you.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
So does England.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pinch yourself,
gosh.
John.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a shame. What a shame your name's not James.
Yeah.
It is my middle name. So
Okay.
But James, I need you.
So does England.
He has just left. He has just left. Over and out.
Message received. We are waiting. Over and out.
Yeah, so yeah, it was so great. Yes, I'm very honored that I'm a Bond girl, and I would say that I'm still receiving lots of fan mail. Can you believe that?
It is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a huge fan following out there, worldwide.
Yeah.
So I'm getting them from all over the world, and I went away for 2 weeks recently, and there were about 10 letters waiting for me just recently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's testament to the impact you made, Susie, and as we say, such an iconic opening, and you made.
Yes, I know, but these people, they actually know all of my career. They've looked me up. They've got hold of me through the Bond film, which they loved, and then they've looked up all the other work I've done. So they've got pictures of me in all my other parts, and when I've done a couple of signings, only 2 actually. A lot of the other actresses, they do a lot of them, but I've done 2, and I was shocked at how many people were queuing up to get my autograph. There was a huge queue because I hadn't done one before for years and years, so there was like a queue of a mile long, and they were all from all different parts of the world. They were from Japan, Germany, Australia. I mean, they come from everywhere to meet me.
I mean, what do you think it is that makes Bond so popular across the world? It is partly because it is British. It's so British.
It's very British, but I think it's the glamour, isn't it? Really, I mean, they love glamour. I think the glamour of the Bond movies has always been there, hasn't it? So and the fact that they've done so many now, haven't they, as well? Yeah. So I think all the people in all the Bond movies are going to be immortalized forever with the Bond movies, because they're always going to be so iconic, aren't they? And so exciting. The next generation as well, we make sure that our kids, and we'll make sure that their kids will watch them, because it's I think the thing is that they will want to watch them because if they read anything about them, it's a bit like, well, it's not like Star Wars, but there's like Star Wars, isn't it? They've got a huge fan base as well. So anything that's got amazing effects and amazing, exciting scenes and glamour and the whole thing, I think will always be. And obviously there've been lots and lots of different Bond movies. I think they will stay. They will always be there.
Yeah, my son's 4-year-old, and I'm a bit of a nerd. I have all the little James Bond cars on my shelf, and he just takes those cars off. And so obviously I've got the White Lotus.
Yeah, the Lotus.
Yeah, and he'll just say, "Daddy, can you show me the clip of the Lotus?" So,
wow.
And it's like he's not got the attention span to watch a full film. But even a 4-year-old boy is wanting to see 5 minutes of something that is just so imaginative.
Thrilling. Yes, and thrilling and imaginative. Exactly. Yeah, and the music, of course. The music makes them iconic as well, doesn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Fantastic. Would you say Roger's your favourite Bond, Susie?
Of course, because I have to say that, don't I? But no, I think he is anyway. Yeah, because as I said, I love the tongue-in-cheek humour. Yeah. And I think he did that best, really.
He certainly did.
Yeah.
Something's just come up. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, when you say, James, I cannot find the words, I can't do it as well as you did.
Yeah.
Oh, at least we can do it a bit breathy. Come on. Oh, James.
I won't do that, but
Oh, James, I cannot find the words.
Well, let me try and enlarge your vocabulary.
there's such immortal lines that they fit his Bond, his wheelhouse so perfectly.
Large in your vocabulary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when I say, "Oh, James, I need you," and he goes, "And so does England." I mean, that's a classic, isn't it?
Oh, it's just it is
in his yellow ski suit, bright yellow.
Oh, that, yeah, yeah, of course. Dear me, he does all right in that film, doesn't he? It was 4 or 5 women. He
does all right. Yeah. Oh my God. I think every man wanted to be James Bond in that era.
Yeah.
Don't you, in those days? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want Bond to be aspirational, don't you? You need to be a bit more fun. That's what we're saying, isn't it, really? That,
yeah.
You look up to him.
Exactly. There has to be humor in life, doesn't there? Otherwise we'd all go mad.
Yeah. Brilliant. We've just done a really long review of The Spy Who Loved Me, and it just sort of cemented our love. I think a couple of us, it was the first film they'd seen after No Time to Die, and it cheered us up, basically, it's a bit of escapism.
I'm so glad.
Fun, isn't it?
Hi, this is Robert Dobby, and you're watching Really 007 Podcast. And today is the first day of the rest of your life. So tune in.
But I could talk to you forever.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be our guest, yeah.
We'd love to.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, are there any other funny stories on set or anything like that that's happened?
Well, just that I was very nervous because I was told I had to be, I had to be semi-naked.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but it was done so beautifully. I mean, obviously there's a huge amount of crew on set and everything, and I just had a cover up and draped, around my shoulders, covering me up, and snuggled under the rug, under the fur rug quickly, and noticed that Roger had red underpants on.
Oh. It sort of goes with his ski outfit. He had a red cap on, didn't he?
Yes.
Oh. That's
good.
Brilliant. That is hilarious.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, brilliant.
You didn't laugh when you saw
No, because I was actually quite nervous.
Yeah.
Just to begin with. I mean, I was only in my 20s, and it was like I had done loads of other work. I'd done loads of TV before that, and I'd even had a lead part in a BBC series, and I'd done Count Dracula. I did with Louis Jourdan and Frank Finlay.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'd worked with some amazing people and amazing directors, Adrian Lyne and Richard Scott. I'd worked with on a cheese commercial, funnily enough.
Oh wow!
So, yes.
Oh right, well, I need to
the
ask you about those then.
Oh my God, yeah. In all those in those days, a lot of the top directors now used to work on television commercials.
Yes.
I don't know if that still happens now, but in those days they were really quite artistic. And I had one that ran for 7 years, Laundrette Just Musk.
Right.
Yeah, and obviously you're getting repeat fees, so I did them in order to earn money, really. Because,
that's great, isn't it?
You never knew when your next job was going to be. But as I said, I was really lucky, and I was getting a lot of work, TV and film anyway. But the commercials were incredible as well, because, as I said, I worked with all these top directors, and it's amazing.
You've just mentioned two of my favourite ever directors. So Ridley Scott and Adrian Lyne, my word. And they're both English as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most of my work was done in Britain. Most of it was done in Britain. Yeah.
Do you have any memories of those guys?
Oh, Adrian Lyne. Do you want to know a story about Adrian?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, I was doing a Cadbury's Roses commercial, and very glamorous. I was playing a nurse, and so I had a nurse's outfit on, and in the morning, so I had the wardrobe girl chatting away to me, and then she went onto the set, and she said, "Oh, they're gonna put you. You're gonna start working any minute now, but Adrian has told me to just pop out and buy you some stockings, black stockings and suspenders." So I said, "Why?" And she was laughing. She said, "Well, he's got this, he just got this little fetish, and he'd like to imagine you."
Wow, dear me.
And that was Adrian Lyne that did 9.5 weeks.
I was going to say, his films are quite raucous, aren't they?
Sexy, yeah. So that was that. But I mean, I just went with it and thought, okay, well, if that's what he wants, then that's what he's going to get. But he never saw them. He didn't see them. Obviously, he just wanted to imagine them under my nurse's outfit.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Probably what got him going, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then Ridley Scott, the cheese commercial. I just think it's funny that Ridley Scott was doing a cheese commercial.
It's brilliant.
I was working for Ridley Scott doing a cheese commercial, and within a few years, he was doing all the main, huge movies.
Oh.
And
they're both still working today as well, aren't they? Which is both nearly 80, maybe. I mean, that's amazing. And Louis Jourdan, how was he? Because we love him as Kamal Khan in Octopussy.
Oh yes, well he played Count Dracula. And I was a bride of Dracula, which obviously they normally call a vampire, but they called me a bride of Dracula. And I had this amazing, beautiful costume, Victorian-looking bridal dress. And I had to lie in a coffin in the middle of the night, in the middle of the New Forest, and it was really quite spooky to film, as you can imagine. Actually, it was about midnight that we did that scene, and there were many scenes that were quite, because it was Philip Saville. I don't know if you've read anything about Philip Saville. He was a BBC director, but he was quite eccentric and a little bit mad, and he would think of these amazing ideas to add to the storyline. And so he made me bite into a baby as a vampire. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't a real baby, a real live baby.
What was it though? How did he do that?
I don't know actually, but I do remember being fitted with the teeth, and I had to go along to a dentist to be fitted for my, fangs, which was really, really weird. And they put the fangs in just before walking on the set, and they also had to fit me for the eyes, which are red. When you turn into a vampire, eyes go red. And I had to be led onto the set because the red eyes that they fit you with have only got a slit down the middle to make them look real. So you're just looking out of that slit, and you're almost blind. So I had to be led onto the set to do my part on various occasions. And it was just wonderfully done again, though. I mean, for a BBC production, it was 3 hours long, I think, or 2.5 hours long, or something like that. And it's been shown quite a bit already. So, yeah.
So with the teeth, you know what? You can sympathise with Richard Keel having to wear those teeth.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it was very interesting to do that. Really wonderful. Wonderful costumes, wonderful, teeth and eyes and
Right. So what next then, Susie? What with the album's out soon?
Well, the album is just finished 2 weeks ago. We've still got to master it. Kipper had to dash back to Bali, so his engineer Mark Frith is working on it with me to finish it completely within the next week, and then we're going to release a couple of singles first. We're not going to release the whole album until maybe the beginning of next year, because we want to hold it for a while and just release a few singles first. So it's going to be quite exciting, and I'm hopefully going to do a couple more videos and promotion work for it. I'm going to do a podcast. That's what we're talking about doing now. Yeah, all those things. I'm hoping you'll like the new album. Did you hear my first album?
Yeah,
you don't need to say yes.
Yeah, well, I've heard quite a few of the tracks. Yeah.
So my
videos. Yeah.
Second album is I've written my own songs and co-wrote them with Judy Sook as well.
Brilliant.
So they're new songs that no one's heard on the second album, but also some classics as well. So I hope you're going to like it.
Yeah. What kind of genre would you say it was then? The new stuff?
It's still jazz. Jazz. Yeah. I love jazz.
Oh yeah.
we will certainly promote it on our
we will, of course we will.
We'll really give
you're lovely. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you love it.
Well, if we give it a review, we'll say I cannot find the words.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Because we're speechless at how great it is. No other reason at all.
Not
Yeah. Oh, you're lovely.
Oh, thank you
very much.
Thank
lovely
you, Susie.
Talking to you.
It's been brilliant. Thank you very much.
I don't mind if you call me every week and we have a little chat. Okay. Well, I'm honoured to speak to you. I'm loving that you love the James Bond movies, and hopefully speak to you soon.
Really don't understand.